Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Eugene. My name is Danu, and I'll be leading our meditation this morning. So I invite you all to close your eyes or have a soft downward gaze. Let's just take 3 deep breaths, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. This meditation will be a grounding meditation and visualization. So I invite you to picture a golden sphere hovering about 6 inches above the top of your head. Picture it clearly, shimmering, reflecting light. Pure gold color. And from the bottom of this sphere comes a stream of white light. And see this white light shine down, entering through the crown of your head, moving down further, connecting with your mind's eye. Remembering to breathe. See this beam of light move down further, connecting with the throat. Moving down further, connecting with your heart. Traveling down further, this light meets with your solar plexus, your stomach area. Moving down further, connecting with the sacrum, sacral chakra, down in the belly. See this light travel down further, connecting at the base of your spine, at the root. Taking a few deep breaths here. Feeling the light, connecting all these parts of your body, of your energetic body. See this light travel down through the legs, reaching down to the feet. And picture this light moving down through the soles of your feet, down into the floor, moving down into the soil. See this light begin to travel through the layers of this earth. All the layers of time and history, all the layers of rock. As you continue to breathe, see this light reach all the way down to the hot core of this earth, connecting with that powerful energy, that fire energy, until you see this light connect right at the center, right at the core, the heart of the earth. Just take a moment and sense that power. That heat, that intensity, that creative life force energy that sustains us and all life on this planet. Take a few more deep breaths. When you're ready, I invite you to draw this energy back upwards, moving back through the rocks, the minerals, calling that energy back up into the soil. Moving back up through this floor, entering back through the soles of your feet, back up through the legs, reaching up, connecting with your root, with the base of your spine. Allowing that energy to move up, connecting with the sacrum, with the lower belly. Moving up, connecting with the solar plexus. And returning to your heart center. Feel this light, charged, pulsing in your heart. And from the heart, I invite you to see that energy expanding as a globe, an orb of light. See this light fill your rib cage, your lungs, reaching out further, filling all of your chest. Taking a few more deep breaths. Allowing this light to expand further, reaching out through your arms, down to your fingertips. This light reaches both upward and downward, filling all space in the body, touching, moving through every cell, every atom. This light merges with the wholeness that is your body, physically, energetically, and spiritually. And picture this light reaching out as an orb about 6 inches around your body. Imagine yourself inside of a bubble of this light. Feel its warmth, See this light shining out. When you see yourself clearly inside of this energetic bubble, I invite you to think of a color, whichever color comes first to mind. Imagine pouring that color inside of this bubble, allowing it to fill all of that space. Now picture this colored bubble expanding out further, filling this room, reaching out beyond these walls, filling this whole block. See this bubble expanding further, encompassing all of Eugene. See that color filling every space, every bit of matter. As you take another breath, picture this bubble expanding out further. Picture it encompassing all of Oregon. Being bathed in this colored light. See it expanding further, encompassing this entire country. Imagine every being in this country bathed in that light. Expanding out further. This light stretches over all of this continent. Touching every being, filling them with this light. As you take another breath, see if you can expand this light around the entire globe, around all of Earth, the oceans, the lands, the sky. Picture all beings bathed in this colored light, being charged up with life force energy. Being filled with life. And if you can, see this light expand out into the cosmos, out into space, touching every star, every planet in our solar system. Feel this light connect you with your higher self, the highest extension of who you are. Just pause here for a moment. appreciating these sensations, this color, appreciating feeling this light, connecting every being in a moment of peace, in this moment of divine love, in this moment of presence. When you're ready, draw this light back in. Imagine yourself in that bubble, about 6 to 12 inches all around you. Appreciate this grounded feeling. That concludes our meditation. I invite you to continue meditating if you'd like. Just taking a few more deep breaths. And our music will begin shortly. Thank you.
Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. We're your Joy Notes. We're going to help get started with a couple of songs, leading a couple of songs. My name's Alice.
Kathy. And I'm Sister V.
Okay, if you'd all rise, we're going to sing I Love Myself the Way I Am. Woohoo! Nothing I need to change. I'll always be the perfect me. There's nothing to rearrange. I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. I love you the way you are. Nothing you need to do.
I feel love inside myself. It's easy to love you. Behind your fears, your rage and tears, I'll see your shining star. And I love you just the way you are. I love the world the way I can clearly see that all the things I judge are done by people just like me. And all the things on earth that only love can bring, I'll help it grow by loving everything. I love myself the way I am. Still I want to grow. The change outside can only come when deep inside I know I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. Thank you all. Go ahead and turn towards your neighbor and give them a hug. Say hello. Good morning. Good morning. It's so pleasure. I know. Hey, welcome back.
Oh, God, that was really good. It was really good. Gave me just kind of like a shot in the arm.
I bet. Awesome. Good.
Glad I went. Okay, go ahead and make your way back to your seat and join us for another song. God is, I am. God is, I am, right here, right now. Right here, right now. God is, I am. God is, right here, right now. Right here, right now. God is, I am. Thank you all.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for being here today. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Eugene. Welcome if you're watching us from YouTube or Facebook. We are so grateful that you are here. We're so grateful that you decided to share your time with us, because this is where we come to commune in love and in the spirit of what we all came here to be. The one, just the one of ourselves, right? God is, and I am. And let me turn my phone down as I was, so I didn't listen to the directions. Forgive me. That's what happens, sometime. I was busy trying to, get up there and sing and everything, okay? Right. Doop. And that's playing with me. And that's playing with me with the little thing. But we so appreciate you being here. If you have time to fill out one of the forms out front with your information, your email address, you'll get a newsletter. It'll tell you some of the classes that we have here available and some of the events that are going on a weekly basis. There's so many things that are going on at the center, not just on Sunday. So be sure to put your email address. You can sign up online as well and in the foyer, okay? Today I'm going to read our global vision, which is, we envision all people, all beings, and all life as expressions of God. Right now, practitioner of the day, Danu Green, is going to come forward and give us a affirmation prayer. But before that, we're going to sing a little song called We Come Together.
We come together in this moment. We bind our hearts and minds, for we all form a tapestry woven from one mind, one creation, undivided, all unique expressions of God. We come together now in one accord.
Good morning, everyone. Can y'all hear me all right? Excellent. My name is Danu Green, and I will be leading our spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer. Woo! Thank you. Love the enthusiasm. So I invite you all to close your eyes or have a soft downward gaze. Let's take 3 deep breaths, breathing in through the nose, and out through the mouth. I will give this treatment in the I am and the we are, knowing the unity within those. Right here and now, I am reminded that spirit is all there is. Spirit is the one mind, the one source, the one divine love that connects everyone and everything. Spirit is the life force energy that animates all life, that guides all life, that is all life. Being that spirit is the source of all things, I know that spirit is the source of strength, of authenticity, of vulnerability. And as a piece of all there is, as a piece of this one sacred life, I know that I am one with spirit. I am a unique and sacred expression of it. And as I know this truth for myself, I know this truth for each beloved soul here today, that we are all unique and sacred expressions of spirit. And as the expressions of spirit that we are, I know that we are blessed right here and now. I know that this is a safe space for each and every one of us to embrace our vulnerability, knowing that that vulnerability is authenticity. It is the avenue that Spirit expresses authentically through, in, and as every one of us here. I know that in that vulnerability, we find our strength that guides us, that connects us, that bonds us, and that we use these gifts to serve one another, to serve ourselves, to serve our greater spiritual community. And as we receive this message today, this music, this time together, I know that it guides us, it inspires us, it lifts us up into our greatest good and our highest potential in action. I'm so grateful for this time here together. I'm so grateful for every being here and the unique gifts that they bring. Knowing the power of my word, I release it now into the creative law of mind. I let it be so, and so it is.
So it is. Awesome. Thank you, Danu. We're in for a treat today. All right. We have the honored Reverend David Alexander to speak with us today. Yes. Yes. And I believe he'll be giving a workshop after, but he'll talk about that later. Here at the center, we know that spiritually empowered people live richer, fuller lives. So we use these principles of the science of mind to inspire minds and open our hearts and empower our lives. And we're going to say our April affirmation. I'll say it once through, and then it'll be up on the screen. It is already up on there, isn't it? I'll say it once through, and then if you like, join me in saying it the second time. As a part of the infinite creative force of life, I show up authentically as a voice of love. When I become still, I hear the sound of truth, calling me to open to love and transformation. I become who I am, who I came here to be. Together, as a part of the infinite creative source of life, I show up authentically as a voice of love. When I become still, I hear the sound of truth, calling me to open to love and transformation. I become who I came here to be. And so it is. And today's music is going to be by Matt and Mo. Please give them some love as...
My heart is ready to receive. I am all I need, and I am all I need. My heart is ready to receive.
As we continue in that flow of opening for just a moment, take a breath. Feel yourself opening to receive this day, this message, this moment. Give thanks for the body temple that walked you into this space. Give thanks for the life inside of you that woke you up this morning and said, this is the day. Give thanks for the Spirit of God that you see all around you, reflected back to you in the beauty of nature, connection with friends and loved ones, and especially here in this sacred space. We are open, we are receptive, we are ready to receive. And so it is. Good morning, everybody. As they would say down south, how y'all doing? how's your mama and them? That's what they say down south. How's your mama and them? So I say that because I just recently moved back to the Pacific Northwest in October. After 7 years in Atlanta, Georgia, the Center for Spiritual Living, or Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. And that was, before that, 15 years in Portland, Oregon, and many years coming down here to Eugene, an occasional Sunday, and the wonderful Pacific Northwest New Thought Conference in the fall. And I understand that's coming back this year, and so am I. I'll be here, along with Michelle Wadley. I know who's facilitating much of it, and I'm looking forward to working with her. She's amazing. So it's just great to be back, and great to be in this wonderful space together. There's something powerful. Oh, for those who don't know, my name is David Alexander. My pronouns are he and him. And it's a delight and honor to be with you all again in this space once again. And it's an honor because there's something powerful that happens when people come together and are willing to show up. Willing to show up as themselves, willing to become, as our theme for the month is about becoming, our theme of the year, open at the top, to become in this moment just a little bit more of who we are spiritually and authentically. The theme of the month is about becoming, and I love that because becoming is a constant relationship. You're never done becoming, right? So it's not a destination. The spiritual practice is not you do this and do that and take these classes and learn this and learn that and then get your money right and get your relationships right and get these things right and then boom. No. No. It's just becoming. I've been doing this all my life since toddler age in religious science churches. I was heavily involved in teen programs and young adult programs and became a practitioner at 18. ran youth and family ministries and national camps and all sorts of things, and have been a minister now for 25 years, 22 of those years as a senior pulpit minister, and I'm still becoming. It's still just this day. What am I opening up to now? What is before me today, right? So we're going to talk about vulnerability today. Before I do that, I was supposed to come up during the announcements and plug the workshop. So real quick, commercial. Workshop this afternoon. I wrote a book a year or two ago called Freedom from Discord, The Promise of New Thought Liberation Theology. It's about the intersection between New Thought philosophy and liberation theology, and really embracing our vision of creating a world that works for all and how to do that in a public way. And so the book is about that. The workshop will be a little bit about what's in the book, but really about that intersection and why it's meaningful, why it's important. $30 and you get a copy of the book. So that's a pretty good deal, I think, anyway. So you'll see you this afternoon if that appeals to you. All right, back to our message. See, I come with my own tricks. I do my own announcements and everything. And so let me start with this. I start every year with this poem that I'm about to read to you. It's called Stripped by God. It's written by, I think, a UCC minister, Cynthia Kirk. Discovered it in some curriculum a number of years ago, and I just loved it so much. And so that wonderful sacred space between, the end of Christmas season, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day and New Year's, that wonderful kind of fallow, sacred space. It's always so rich for me. And so I always have a few different pieces that I gather with me, and I carve out some time to just be in prayer and meditation with these pieces. And over the last couple of years, this has become one of them, and I think it's very relevant for today. So take a deep breath and just take this in. What would happen if I pursued God? If I filled my pockets with openness, grabbed a thermos half full of fortitude, and crawled into the cave of the Almighty, nose first, eyes peeled, heart hesitantly following, until I was face to face with the raw, pulsing beat of mystery. What if I entered and it looked different than anything anyone had ever described? What if the cave was too large to be fully known, far too extensive to be comprehended by one person or group, too vast for one dogma or doctrine? Would I shatter at such a thought? Perish from paradox or puzzle? Shrink and shrivel before the power? Would God be diminished if I lived a question rather than a statement? Would I lose my faith as I discovered the magnitude of grace? Oh, for the willingness to explore, to leave my tiny vocabulary at the entrance and stand before you naked, stripped of pretense and rigidity, disrobed of self-righteousness and tidy packages, stripped of all that holds me at a distance from you and your world. Strip me, O God, then clothe me in curiosity and courage. Strip me, O God, then clothe me in curiosity and courage. Stripped by God, Cynthia Kirk. To stand at that entrance, I believe that's what we're doing every time we move into meditation, spiritual practice, to sit and be still and to enter that space of becoming, is to really, and to be vulnerable, is to I love that part, leave my tiny vocabulary at the door, right? Disrobe myself of tidy packages. Right? Don't we have tidy packages? We have these neat little ways and constructs and ways of knowing the world, and we carry them around with us. We got, we put them in books, and we go, and we got it, and we're like, yes, I now understand. I've got it all figured out. I can just look. I mean, I have a Substack. It's called The Liberation Lens. Right? It's literally like this is the lens I look through the world, right? And that's what we do with our books and our packages and our constructs, and we say, yes, I've got it all. I've got it. But every once in a while, what if we just, let me put that over there, let me put these over here, let me take this off, right? All of these ways in which we have narrowed our vision of something that is infinite. And so the question I have for you today, that you don't need to answer out loud, is what part of me am I still hiding? And what might be revealed if I really allowed myself to be fully seen? What part of me is still hiding, and what might be revealed if I allowed myself to be fully seen? Now, turn to your neighbor. No, I'm just kidding. That's also an Atlanta thing. We do a lot of that down south. To touch your neighbor and say this. But as we open ourselves up to those questions, what we become to discover as we look at this idea of entering the cave of the Almighty and clothing ourselves with curiosity and courage, what you'll discover on that journey, what I've discovered on the journey that I've been on, is that there's a version of me that's easy to share. There's a version of me that fits neatly into spiritual language. And then there's a part of me that's still processing. There's a part of me that's still tender and vulnerable and unresolved and developing and becoming. And that's the part we don't like to look at or talk about too often, right? Because we like the packages that we've discovered. Most of us have learned somewhere along the way that it is safer to be acceptable than it is to be authentic. Woo! I just dropped that one on you, right? It's safer to be acceptable than it is to be authentic. And we think that, well, we don't have that going on here because this is New Thought. This is Centers for Spiritual Living. We're allowed to be ourselves and be authentic. That's right. And, right? There's still some of that going on, perhaps. And so what do? We move through this world. We adapt, we adjust, we curate ourselves. And over time, what used to feel, real, it has become curated and packaged. So why does this matter? Why are we talking about this today? One, it's the theme about becoming and the power of vulnerability and the intersection of vulnerability in our becoming. But it's not just us as individuals. If we kind of step back a little bit and look at what's happening in the world, we're at a very vulnerable place. Democracy is in a fragile and vulnerable state. Vulnerability is something that is being felt around the globe in many, many ways. We might call that danger or the precipice of this or that, and we have tensions and wars and all the things. But I want to look at it today through the lens of vulnerability. Right? We're not just dealing with individual hesitation. We're dealing with a time when that hiding and of our authentic self and the self that wants to emerge as us, the hiding of that has become normalized. And in the place of that, what we have is performance that has become rewarded, certainty that becomes expected, that image is elevated above truth. We're living in a moment where people can say things that are demonstrably false, and they're just accepted. Right? There's no challenge, there's no pushback, there's just a smile and a nod, and we just go about our day. Right? I mean, I don't know about you, but do you ever just walk away from the TV and just go, what? You know, I mean, not just like, oh, wow, you know, but like literally, like I've had moments where I've just been like, what? What did I just see? What did I just hear? How did that not just like stop everything from spinning to say, oh, hold on, time out, flag on the play, right? 10-yard penalty, still first down, right? Something. And it just, you know, goes on. Because we fear speaking out of our authentic space. And so we compromise. We're living in a moment where harm is happening openly everywhere through legislation and through behavior and rhetoric and on and on and on. I think you understand what I'm getting to. And yet it is explained away so effectively. And so what do we do? What do we do in these uncertain and vulnerable times? One of the things we do is return to the practice of becoming and return to the practice of vulnerability, because this is what I've learned in my spiritual practice over the number of years, is that when I respond to vulnerable times with certainty, it's a really good indication that I don't know what I'm talking about. Isn't that fun? I'll say it again. What I've discovered is that when I respond to moments of vulnerability and, you know, uncertainty with certainty, it's a really good indication that I don't know what I'm talking about. Right? Because what's going on there? I'm scared. And so I'm responding to the fear and the apprehension and the tension of the moment with this certainty. Aha! Let me just, and sometimes that's a practice of faith, right? Sometimes that's an affirmation or a declaration or something, right? And as a practice, that's okay. But sometimes we push through from practice into just, you know, like, you know, this is the way it has to be. Right? Instead of embracing the mystery and saying, you know what, actually, I don't know. I've spent, mentioned the last 22 years in pulpit ministry. And when they hired me in Atlanta, I left a very wonderful ministry here in the Pacific Northwest that was thriving and doing very well. And the ministry in Atlanta was going through some transition, but it looked like a really good opportunity and really a wonderful thing for my family. And so I jumped at it because I thought, you know, why not? I didn't want to regret it, you know, look back and go, you know, maybe wonder what would have happened. I said, why not? We'll take a shot and see what happens. And got there, gangbusters, you know, place was pouring out with people, putting chairs up against the walls. It's like, well, we're going to bust out of this. We're renting a space, and it was just tremendous. And this was beginning in July of 2019. I'll say that again. This was in the beginning of July 2019. And things were going really well. July, August, September, November, December, January, February, March 2020. Oh, I don't know, right around the 16th? COVID. Shut down. All right, okay, we're going to have to shut the doors for 3 weeks. We can handle that. Remember that? Remember we thought it was like 6 weeks? Right? All of us in churches. At first we were like, a month? We can't do a month. How will we keep the lights on? You know. And then we were like, okay, well, maybe we could do 3 months. Sure, we could do 3. That would be hard, but we have a webcam, don't we? Do we have a webcam? Yes. We'll get a webcam. I think they are on sale. Right? And we all went through that journey, and it turned into 6 months and turned into a year and turned into all the things that it turned into. But I remember, you know, my January board meeting. This is the reason for me telling this story. I remember the January board meeting because I had the numbers from the first 6 months that I had been there, coming in the summer, and just, you know, so we kind of my vision and plan for the year. And I had all of this stuff. And like I walked into the meeting, it was like, I had this pile of data and things. And it was like, I know what to do with this. right? Here's all the metrics, here's all the things. And I had this confidence of, see this, these indicators and that indicators. And I had my 15 years of experience behind me at that time and all the training and all the stuff, and I could apply it. And it was like, that ministry that raised me, they had the young green David Alexander, but you've got the seasoned, knows what he's doing David Alexander. We're going to take this stuff and we're going to set it on fire. And I walked in so confident, and everybody walked out so happy, and everybody was just a good old time. And February was great because we had all that ideas behind us, and we slowly began to, talk about and begin to implement some of them. March happened. I walked into that meeting. I said, I don't know what to do with this. I have never been here before. I have no idea. And neither do any of us. It's the embracing of that vulnerability, being willing to say, I don't know. In a faith tradition, by the way, that really likes certainty. Have you noticed? Like, we're really big on be certain. Ernest Holmes is like really big on, make your case, state your thing, be clear, don't back down, don't turn around, don't look the other way, do your treatment and never, and he's like really, not so hip on doubt, right? He's not so hip on questioning and all of that stuff, right? So our faith kind of guides us in that direction of this certainty. But in the real world, real spiritual practice, yes, we arm ourselves with that sort of certainty as a practice, but then we have to embrace the mystery of the shore that brings up to us stuff that we don't know. And so there's a letting go, and there's a surrender, and there's an opening. I wonder what will happen here if we lay down our certainty a little bit and just allow something else to speak to us for the moment. My friend D.E. Paulk in Atlanta wrote a book a number of years ago called I Don't Know, The Way of Knowing. Really beautiful, kind of Eastern mystical tradition. He's a Pentecostal preacher, so that was quite the feat for him. But it's beautifully done. And in it, he talks about, he says, we're so certain about God and we're so conclusive about God. How can we be so finite about that which is infinite? How does that work? How are we so conclusive about that which has no conclusion? That which does not end. And yet we walk around with all of these ways of saying, no, this is the way it is. Maybe. But maybe sometimes it's not, right? And so we got to open ourselves up. We got to soften. We got to reframe. We got to wait. We got to pause. We got to slow down and let something else emerge. As we begin to reframe this idea of vulnerability, because I think it's often misunderstood, and I know Brené Brown has done a tremendous amount of work on the subject over the years, and you grab any of her stuff, you're going to learn some really wonderful things about it. But vulnerability is not just oversharing or being emotionally, open and available. Spiritually, what I want to talk about today about vulnerability is that vulnerability is actually about alignment with our spiritual reality. Vulnerability is about the alignment with our spiritual reality, because it is the willingness to stop hiding from what is true. Within us, around us, between us. This is why Ernest Holmes says it is through the revelation of the self to the self that one understands life and the self, right? That revelation is exposure. That exposure, as we often call it, which is really about relationship. You see, if I'm open to this idea that God is all that there is, and this infinite presence is in, through, and as me, that's a relationship between myself and the divine. And that openness requires an exposure, just like any relationship with a loved one, with a spouse, with children, with anyone. requires not a closed offness, but an openness. We have to turn to it. We have to open ourselves up. We have to say, I'm here, I'm open, I'm available. What do you have to teach me? What do I think in response to that? How are we going to navigate this together? Right? It's not I've got it all figured out and I've got this, this thing with me and here we go. It's a teamwork thing. It's a vulnerability. It's an open thing. And so vulnerability really is about that relationship with the divine. And that relationship is the oneness in practice. Because what it does is it dissolves separation. When I stop hiding from myself, I stop needing to hide from you. Whew. Hallelujah. When I stop hiding from myself, I stop needing to hide from you. And when I stop hiding from you, I begin to see myself in you. You see, as long as I'm hiding, as long as I'm closed off in that relationship, as long as I'm certain about who I am and about who you are and all of these other things, right? As long as I don't have to see myself in the other, then I'm armored and I'm protected by my tidy packages and vocabulary and ways of seeing and constructs of the world. I don't know if you've seen any evidence of that happening in the world where everyone is really convinced about what they know and how it is and it, right? As long as we're armored, we're easily divided. As long as we're armored, we're easily divided. What does that mean? It means when you are an other, then the other is easy to harm, it's easy to dismiss, it's easy to legislate against, it's easy to ostracize, it's easy to bomb, it's easy to villainize, it's easy to forget about and ignore. But if I'm in relationship with the other, and the other really is me, and I can see myself in the other, which requires me being open and vulnerable to my own relationship with the divine, then suddenly it's not as easy to bomb my neighbor. It's not as easy to legislate against the people that I love. It's not as easy to dismiss and say, well, we don't have to worry about that because we're not them. It's not as easy because that vulnerability opens it up and breaks down that separation and brings us together and asks us to be in relationship to one another. And we can't talk about vulnerability without talking about the world that we are creating and participating in. As I mentioned, communities are being targeted, legislated against. Truth is being distorted for political gain. Economic systems that are normalizing suffering. Religious language is being used to justify exclusion. But the far greater temptation in moments like this is not hatred, as we often think it is. It's actually disengagement. It's pulling back. It's recoiling and seeing all of that and just saying, I just don't want to participate in that. I'm just going to turn the TV off and do my spiritual practice. Anybody? Oh, have we gotten vulnerable in the room? I'm just going to turn the TV off and do my spiritual practice. And then when people ask me about it, I'm going to go, la, 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 la. Right? This is not a spiritual practice. Right? It's not a spiritual practice. Disengagement and retreat. Now, I don't mean that sometimes for our sense of mental health and well-being, we got to turn it off. We got to go take a walk in nature. We got to do other things. We got to clear our mind out, etc. Yes, of course. But we're one with the infinite. We're one with everything that's happening around us, and we are in relationship with this thing. The theme of our ministry in Atlanta, tagline that we used in the ministry was called "You Belong," and we had shirts that said "You Belong," and we were very specific about it. in our marketing and everything, it wasn't about you belong here at SLCA or anything like that. It was just you belong. Because that in itself was the message. You belong. Here, now, to this. And we spent the years talking about what does that really mean? If I belong to this moment, then I belong to all of it. I belong to the good, I belong to the bad, I belong to the ugly, I belong to the uncomfortable, I belong to all of it. And belonging is, again, about relationship. If I belong to something, then it's mine, right? And that means I have a responsibility to tend to that thing. If it's a child or a pet or a piece of yard or a garden, or a car or a bike or anything, right? I belong to it. It belongs to me. We're in relationship to each other, and I'm responsible for doing my part to ensure that it can be healthy and whole and do its part, right? You own a car, you got to put gas in it, you got to change the oil, you got to do the things. You got to, you don't just drive it until it starts blowing up and going, well, I don't know, just stop. Right? It stopped doing what it was supposed to do. And it hurt me in the relationship. No, you didn't do what you were supposed to do. Right? So if we belong to each other and we belong to this moment that we're in, then that means we're responsible. We're to be engaged with it. I think sometimes in New Thought communities we think that our self-awareness is enough. I'm just going to turn all of that off. I'm just going to focus on me. I'm just going to focus on my development and my breathe it in and know that I'm one with the divine. Newsflash. Self-awareness is the booby prize of spiritual practice. Enlightenment, personal enlightenment, is a really poor indicator of public justice. It's okay, I'll be leaving soon. Linda's coming back, don't worry. She'll fix it. I'll be back in September, and we can talk about it then. Let me say that again. All right? Self-awareness is the booby prize of spiritual practice, and the reason that is so is because personal enlightenment is a really poor indicator of public justice. The deeper meaning behind that is basically this, if I just break it down and make it real plain for you. The 100th monkey theory, and the idea that, well, if I just do my spiritual practice and then you do your spiritual practice and they over there do their spiritual practice, and then enough of us get enlightened, then poof, it'll all just magically, then all of a sudden the monkeys on the other island will start washing their potatoes too. It's not true. Look it up. I wrote about it in my Substack. You can look at it there. But no, the theory, the whole science, quote unquote science behind that is not true. The 100th monkey theory is a lie. There is no such thing as this quantum leaping into whatever that is without us actually taking responsibility for doing our part. It doesn't mean that personal enlightenment and that work and self-development, all that stuff's not important. It's very important. It's very important so that I do my work, you do your work, etc. But then we come together and then we say together, this is our work. Not you're over there, you do your work, I'll be over here, I'll do my work, and somehow the collective work will all fix itself. Right? We had generations of a complete misread of the story of the Good Samaritan. You know the story, right? The walking on the road to Damascus, which everybody knew was a parable that Jesus told. Everybody knew it was a dangerous road. It was a dangerous place where all kinds of crime and things took place. And the story of the man on the side of the road and everybody passing him and religious leaders and different people of different culture, and everybody makes that the story. And then the one person who's took a risk because they are of a different culture or nationality, cross the road to help them. And everybody says, oh, look at the Good Samaritan. We need to be like the Good Samaritan. The challenge with that, and that interpretation is not wrong on the individual level, the challenge with it is, in a broader view, is that the people listening to that parable from Jesus already knew all of that. They knew that the road was dangerous. They knew that that kind of stuff happened all of the time. So what is the significance of Jesus telling that story? He's not trying to say, look at the good person who crossed the road. That is just that's just like the low-hanging fruit of the story, right? The deeper thing he's reaching for there is, why is the road like this in the first place? Right? What about the road, y'all? Y'all know it's like this. And why are we depending on good people to put themselves at risk to help others and money out of their own pocket? You all know that that's happening. But don't you think if we all came together, we could actually fix the road itself? We could address some of the systemic issues that produce the condition in the first place? You see, that's the work where our collective enlightenment begins to come together and amplify itself at another level, what our global heart vision in CSL is all about. Okay, I'm getting a little off track. Let me bring myself back. I tend to do this sometimes. And so the action that I have for you today is, let me leave you with this. How do you want to choose to be seen? In a culture that rewards hiding, how do you want to choose to be seen? In a culture that rewards silence, how will you choose to speak? In a world that is invested in so much retreat right now, how will you choose to show up? Not perfectly, not all at once, but truthfully, honestly, in commitment to your relationship to all that is around you. Take a breath with me right here. I wrote this affirmation. I know you have your own affirmation for the day, but I wrote this in relationship to this message today, and it says this: today I release the need to hide. I trust that what is true in me is worthy of being seen. I allow love to meet me exactly where I am. And in that meeting, I am transformed. If you want, you can repeat it after me if it feels good to you. Today, I release the need to hide.
Today I release the need to hide.
I trust that what is true in me is worthy of being seen.
I trust that what is worthy of me is worthy
What is,
of being seen.
yes, what is true in me is worthy of being seen. I allow love to meet me exactly where I am.
I allow love to meet me exactly where I am.
And in that meeting, I am transformed.
And in that meeting, I am transformed.
Yes. Because this journey that we are on of becoming is not so much about becoming something new. It's about revealing what has always been true about us. True about our nature and true about our relationship. And the way we continue on that journey is by choosing to clothe ourselves in curiosity and courage. Thank you for having me today. God bless you.
All right, I'm going to try to keep this short, but I have a transformational moment that I think aligns with David's talk very well. I've struggled most of my life to just feel loved and allow myself to be accepted and fully embraced. And a little over a year ago, New Year's here, we did a ritual of burning and releasing what was no longer serving us, and then a ritual of writing down and calling in what we wanted. What I wrote on my piece of paper to call in was love in its fullest expression in all forms. And I left that open. I didn't want to make it super specific. And so a little over a year has gone by. And then through the start of this year up till now, I've been met with challenge after challenge. I feel like I've fallen on my face over and over and over again. But it's only been recently, as I've reflected on those experiences, that all of those moments have reminded me how loved I really am. And when I step back and look at my life, I see that all of the people I'm connected with, all of my communities are there for me. I had to say goodbye to my beloved pet a couple months ago, and that's one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. She's been my best friend for 14 years. And going through that grief was such an important lesson in love, because my family showed up for me, my community here showed up for me, my coworkers showed up for me, all of my friends showed up for me in that. And even in moving through that grief and sadness, I realized that my grief is my love in full expression, however it comes out. So I just wanted to share that with you. Thank you.
All right, I think we'll do a blessing of the offering. If you have not had an opportunity to scan for your donation, we'll take a moment to do that. I know one of the, pastoring for 20 years, like Reverend Linda, I never took a sabbatical. I should say, like Reverend Linda until now, right? Because that's where she is. But 22 years in the pulpit, never had a break that was longer than maybe 3 weeks at a time. I think for my marriage and then something else. I don't remember what the other thing is. You let my wife know that it was for the marriage that I remembered, the one thing. And so it's significant that she is taking that time. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because one of the greatest things you guys can do in this time period is to be so successful financially, attendance, enthusiasm, engagement, that when she comes back, she sees the overflow of what has been happening while she's taking care of herself. That is the greatest gift that you can show her and show yourself and show this center, is to say, because the hardest thing for senior ministers, and I can tell you, is to be gone for 2 weeks and to come back and they say, oh my God, everything was falling apart and thank God you're back and attendance was terrible and it was just blah, blah, blah. Because then the minister goes, oh my God, I can never leave again. Right? Because it's not sustainable or whatever, right? And that codependency thing is really unhealthy. And I know Linda's not into that. So this is our time to give, to support this center, to support the great work that you are doing, online as well, everybody watching, all the ways in which this broadcast is reaching people throughout the Pacific Northwest and the world. We give thanks for this donation. So scan that QR code. Do you guys have a regular affirmation that you use, or just a blessing that we do? What's that?
You could bless the offering however you want to.
Okay.
You can sing first.
Okay, you're going to sing first.
Everything in this world goes around, flowing with abundance and knows no bounds. Giving and receiving, we circulate the love with gratitude and knowing there's always enough. We give thanks. We give thanks. We give thanks with this offering. We give thanks. We give thanks. We give thanks for everything. We give thanks. We give thanks. We give thanks with this offering. We give thanks. We give thanks. We give thanks for
have Reverend David come up and give us a blessing for the offering, as we did do that backwards. No worries.
And I did like that. That was beautiful. You have given thanks, and so we give thanks for all that has come in online, in the room, with our presence, with our tithes, with our love. Every single dollar is an expression of divine love. It's an expression of compassion and connection and deep caring for our own spiritual well-being, for the spiritual well-being of this center, for the spiritual well-being of the planet. We have invested and seeded into something to say, this is valuable and important to me, and I want it to grow, I want it to thrive, I want it to succeed, because I am connected to it, and it is connected to me. So I give thanks for all of this love. I call it good and very good, and simply allow it to be, and so it is.
So it is. And we give thanks for another selection from Matt and Mo.
Let your soul be your pilot. Let your soul guide you. It'll guide you well. When you're down and they're counting, when your secrets all found out, when your troubles take to mounting, when the map you have leads you to doubt, when there's no information and the compass turns to nowhere that you know well, just let your soul be your pilot. Let your soul guide you. It'll guide you well. And your eyes turn towards the window pane, to the lights upon the hill. And the distance seems so strange to you now, and the dark room seems so still. Let your pain be my sorrow. Let your tears be my tears too. Let your courage be my motto, that the north you find will still be true. When there's no information and the compass turns to nowhere that you know well, just your soul be your pilot. Let your soul guide you. Let your soul guide you. Let your soul guide you. It'll guide you well.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. We have so many good things going on here. I am so blessed, and I'm just so grateful for all of you, and thank you so much for your talk and for being here. we have a lot going on. We have an amazing lineup set up for next week as well. And I'm not going to go into it too much because we're a little over time, but I really encourage you that if you're not getting the newsletter, to get that, because that really informs us of what is going on. And sometimes we don't have, you could just flip right through those, because sometimes we don't have the special side events in the announcements, the things that we're putting on as practitioners. Sometimes we have other things going on. We have Shanti Shivani is coming, and we don't have a slide on her, but that's a beautiful concert. We have a multitude of things like this happening. So take a look at the newsletter. Today, we've got the workshop, and that's going to be an amazing event. That's going to be in the social hall. And then in here, we're going to have, Jeanette is doing a oneness blessing right after this. And we'll probably be about 10 minutes to start at about 11:45 for the workshop in the social hall. So you've got a little time with Jeanette if you want to do the oneness blessing. And we've got the men's coffee, Soup for the Soul. And we've got Reverend Liz is doing the book club on Thursdays. Transmission meditation on Tuesdays. Bethel's putting on, which is an amazing thing for ourselves and to put out good energy for the world. Community yard sale, May 9th. If you have questions, Astrid's the one to talk to about that, and you can sign up on the newsletter as well or online. Turn in bottles between the 15th and the 26th, cans and bottles, and we get an extra 20%. Community retreat, super excited. Bonnie and Andy, going to be great. They're also coming to speak the week after next, so that's going to be fun to have them. Book Boutique is going to be open after the service if you'd like to check that out. And practitioners, we are here for you. We love you, and if you ever have any questions about what we do, don't be afraid to ask us. But the main thing to know is that this is why we go through the training we do. Many of us took 4 years in training to become a practitioner, and we did it all to be here for others. And if you'd like to stand, if you're a practitioner or reverend who is available, that after for a few minutes, if you would like to have we call a miracle minute. And I'm here too. I'm Susan.
Kathy.
Down here.
Sister V. Reverend Trish.
And so grab any one of us if you need somebody to talk to, want somebody to talk to, or just ask what we do and how we can help. We'd love to be there for you. Thank you. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And if we want to come together and hold hands and do a little...
Of love, up and above the clouds, the only way to fly is on the wings of love, and on the wings of love, every one of us together flying high upon the wings of love.
Repeat after me. I am vulnerable. I am authentic. I am divine and awesome. So it is.